In the dead of night, when the world sleeps, shadows come alive with whispers of the unknown. These are the stories that linger in the dark, tales of fear, mystery, and the unexplainable.
I never thought my days at the CDC would lead me to this moment. As an epidemiologist, I spent my time analyzing data, chasing down outbreaks, and working with my team to keep the public safe. The early days of COVID-19 were intense, filled with uncertainty, but we adapted. I thought I had seen it all. But last week, while examining samples from a new variant, I stumbled upon something unsettling. The genetic sequencing revealed a strange connection to the higher tempered genes of cordyceps mushrooms, famed for their extraordinary survival abilities in harsh environments. At first, I brushed it off, a mere curiosity in the grand scheme of things. Yet, as I dug deeper, dread crept in. Could these genes enable the fungus to adapt and handle human body temperatures? The thought sent shivers down my spine. I decided to speak with my colleagues, Jamie, an infectious disease specialist, and Mark, our lead microbiologist. They had always been my sounding boards, the ones who could help me separate fact from fear. Is it a possibility? I asked them one afternoon, leaning over the lab table cluttered with petri dishes and DNA models. Cordyceps growing in a variant of COVID? What would happen if it mutates? Jamie raised an eyebrow, her focus laser sharp. If it can adapt to our body temperatures, that's concerning. Cordyceps already manipulate their environment to thrive. Imagine if they were to be able to hijack our physiology. Mark nodded, pen hovering over his notes. But let's not jump to conclusions. We need to isolate the samples further, observe how they behave. If it was game-changing, we'd have to report it. We dove into our research, spending late nights in the lab. I started documenting everything on Reddit, hoping for insights from the community, but my mind was racing with the implications. Responses flooded in, most dismissed my ideas as science fiction, but a handful of users were intrigued, engaging in thoughtful discussions. As days passed, I felt an undercurrent of anxiety. While we analyzed the growing data, I sensed something was brewing beyond just the lab's walls. The rise in infection rates wasn't just a statistic, it felt like a warning. One evening, Jamie and I stayed late, poring over the results. If this mutation is real, she said, we need to keep it contained. We can't risk it spreading if it becomes more virulent. But how do we convince the higher-ups without sounding paranoid? I asked, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on my shoulders. Just then, Mark burst into the lab, his expression serious. You won't believe what I just found. An unusual outbreak has occurred in a nearby town. Unconfirmed cases show bizarre symptoms that resemble severe respiratory distress. The room chilled, and I shared a glance with Jamie. We were too close to ignoring the signs. Let's gear up and investigate. We need to contain this before it spirals out of control, Jamie said, her determination infectious. As we gathered our equipment, I felt a mix of trepidation and resolve. The pieces of this puzzle were starting to fit together, but I knew the path ahead was fraught with uncertainty. The world felt on edge, and what lay ahead could alter everything we understood about viruses, evolution, and our very humanity.